Hey everybody, today on the Xtreme Lyfe podcast, I have Cheryl Brost. This is awesome. She is a 10 times CrossFit Games qualifier, 8 times CrossFit Games athlete, and has experience across 3 divisions in CrossFit. I mean, she has been an individual competitor, which is incredible. She has been a Masters competitor at 40 to 44 division, and she's been a Masters competitor at 40 to 49. So, I mean, it's just an incredible career. And this is, she started CrossFit in 2009 and made her first games appearance in 2010. I mean, that is just incredible. I mean, she was already a former All-American soccer player. I mean, she already had an engine. She developed the skills in CrossFit in a very quick time period. And really has had an amazing career. This is an awesome interview. She's an incredible, inspirational human. It was my pleasure to talk with her. And hopefully I'll be able to talk with her again in the future, and we'll get her back on. But this was a great interview. The unfortunate thing is something happened to the video file. I don't know what happened. But we got to move on. I do have the audio file because I record that to a separate device. Cheryl was kind enough to send me over a bunch of pictures. So it's still going to be a very, very cool, probably still one of my favorite interviews. So I'll just give you that. Really awesome. It's also available on Liberated Syndication, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also download it, listen to it in your car. Wonderful athlete, awesome human, real fun interview. Check it out. Xtreme Lyfe Podcast.
On behalf of your host, Steve D., this is Bruce Buffer saying thank you for tuning in to Xtreme Lyfe. And now, this is the moment Xtreme Lyfe fans around the world have been waiting for. It's time!
Over the years, tendonitis and maybe some small tears that occurred from competing in CrossFit. But anyway, after this was in 2018. Okay. And we had just finished the master qualifiers. And so the week after, coach was like, get out of the gym, let your body rest a little bit, go outside and have some fun, enjoy the recreation outdoors. So I also help coach soccer with my daughter's group. Mm-hmm. And so we had soccer practice, and I decided to jump on in and play with them.
Okay.
And I'm a soccer player all my life.
I saw that. You've had one hell of a soccer career as well.
Yeah, so. I really enjoy the game. But anyway, all it took was like literally I was hardly even moving. We were scrimmaging, and I had the ball at my feet, and I was trying to shake this defender off my back, and I went one direction, and then I started to head upfield, and the grass was a little wet that day. Mm-hmm. And all I did was I literally just went to like accelerate, and my foot, I just lost footing and slipped and fell to the ground. And I just, put my arm out to brace my fall, and that's all it took.
Yeah, and that put you out for that year, right? And then that took you out of that.
Yeah, that put me out.
That finished you off, so to speak, for that year. You had an injury already, but you kind of finished it off right there. So
that was the right shoulder, and worked hard to rehab that back. And then last year, I can't believe it's really just last year, but this has just been, a crazy year. I feel like we've all been in a time warp.
Yeah. Well, 2020 doesn't even exist. It's just like everything stopped. It's like it's almost like just wake me up in 2021. So hopefully life is normal. Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of where
get to the election. I feel like we're going to get to the election, and towards the end of the year, like, oh, so this is what maybe normal life is back.
Maybe, hopefully.
Again. I don't know.
My theory is everything. everything miraculously gets better in November somehow. But whatever, I'm not.
I know. It's crazy, but I don't think you're too far off.
No, I hope so, because, you know, I got a lot of stuff and I'm trying to, and I know a lot of people are anxious to get back to their lives, and, you know, I can't even plan a vacation. I'm just like, you know what? I got a week coming up that I'm supposed to be somewhere else, and I'm like, you know what? I'm still taking it because I'll just hang out at home, I guess, and do stuff around here. But
keep living your life best you can.
You have to.
So I can't believe it's I was at last year's games, but it feels like it's been 2 years. I don't know. But yes, I was at last year's game. I wasn't real pleased with my performance. I'm not sure. I just didn't quite feel like myself competing. I kind of had a couple key little mental lapses in a couple events, that just, you know, it knocks you from like first or second to like finishing seventh in that.
It only takes an event or two to come outside of that top spot. You know, because you know,
I'd been fighting we found out after we got back from Madison that our daughter had been suffering from some strange sickness. We didn't know if it was, you know, pneumonia, or she had previously had mono like a year before, and she ended up having whooping cough.
Oh. Wow, that's when you don't hear a lot about these days. No. You know, it's kind of
and, you know, she's fully vaccinated and everything. So I don't know how that came about, but hindsight, like going through all that, I feel like I was like suffering some small scale of what she was going through with some breathing issues at the games.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I did end up in the finale of 2019 games. I finished the finale, and my shoulder didn't feel right.
Oh, the shoulder's back, right?
Yeah, it was the other shoulder this time.
Oh, okay.
And I knew.
Well, you're trying to even things out.
Right. So, you know, when you go like the first night and day, like where it's sore, okay. But when it's like going into 2-3 days of not being able to lift your arm away from your body, you're like, that doesn't sound too good.
Might want to get that looked at. Yeah. At that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had this one operated on end of October.
Okay. All right. And how you doing now? I mean, how do you feel now? Does it feel?
Doing pretty well. Actually, I've been really pleased with it. Last week, though, I did kind of irritate it doing some ring muscle ups. I haven't, you know, with COVID, the gym's being shut down for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I was training from home. And whatever stuff I was doing at home was all strict stuff because I don't have a rig here in the garage. And I had some rings hanging, but you could only they're hanging from the garage overhead door.
So you don't want to knock yourself out by hitting the top of the garage. Right?
So all I could do was like strict stuff. And but yeah, I think it's more just getting the joint used to kipping again, and more dynamic movements.
Well, the explosiveness of the muscle up. I mean, when you get in that bottom position, that, you know, the full extension, you're putting a lot on your shoulders. So to have any kind of injury, so. But
no, it's going well. I think it was just a little irritation, and it seems to be doing much better now. So thanks.
That's awesome. So we'll probably be seeing you in next year's games, because I don't know what's going on this year at this point.
I know. Yeah.
CrossFit is gone.
I missed this year's qualifiers, and then, you know, of course all this happened. So, I mean, I'm hearing that maybe they're considering doing the Open back in February again.
Okay.
Instead of coming up this October.
Yeah,
but who knows?
I feel like it's been like a whirlwind with CrossFit, because I've been doing it for many, many years as well. I mean, obviously not on your level, but I will tell you, I been here since probably 2010, give or take. And, you know, it's gone through so many changes. Like, it seems like every year everything changes. Yeah. It's really kind of, you know, and I used to love regionals. I used to love, you know, and I'm like, now, you know, they took regionals and they put the, you know, and it's all change, and it's all probably for the best at some point. But, you know, it just feels like every year something changes, and it's like, I think consistency is going to really put it back to where it needs to be honest with you.
I mean, I was a regional fan too. I mean, yeah, it put a lot of pressure on the athletes. You got that one weekend that you have to be ready for, barring any like injury or sickness or, it puts a lot of pressure on that one very weekend. But I thought it was a really good way to blend the community aspect of CrossFit with the competition side of CrossFit. It was really a neat outlet for everyone that loves CrossFit to get involved with the games aspect. So yeah, there has been a lot of changes. It's kind of like retracing your steps and going back through the years. I'm having a hard time remembering, okay, what was this regionals? And then that went to super regionals and, Then what happened after that, I don't remember.
Yeah, no, it's
sanctionals.
It's hard to remember. Now you got sanctionals, and who knows what's going to happen, because now, obviously CrossFit went through major leadership changes.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, it's kind of one of those things where, we're going through some growing pains right now, I think. And,
right.
I think a lot of people are, I don't know what's going to happen coming forward, because a lot of top athletes have said, I'm not doing this anymore, or I'm not going to games this year and protesting the games. I don't know if they're going to come back to the game. I don't know what's going to happen now with new leadership. Yeah. Maybe that's going to, if I was them, I'd be making calls to everybody saying, hey, look.
Right.
Here's what's going on now.
What's going on? I'm just sitting here with my popcorn.
Yeah.
Just sitting here watching.
Well, that sucks because, I would love to see, because even when they were going to do the games again and they're bringing it to the farm, I guess they're going back to the roots a little bit. They weren't doing masters. They weren't doing any other divisions at that, this year. So, which really kind of sucks for everybody like you and a bunch of other people I know that are in the masters, because I'm a masters myself. I'm 47 years old, so it's like, I know a lot of people in those divisions, and they're all like, it's just not, it sucks, basically, for lack of a better way of putting it, for everybody.
It's hard to know what our future is. So anyway, I try not to dwell on it too much because I as one individual don't have any control over that. But what I do know is, I enjoy CrossFit methodology. I enjoy the training lifestyle, the overall lifestyle it encompasses, from health and wellness. So, I don't see whether I compete down the road or not. I don't see like me changing much in terms of my training, and I still enjoy doing that.
How much do you train? What's your training schedule look like? I know a lot of people be curious about that, because I know a lot of people are like, we've all met, and I've been there myself. It's like, I'm going to start training. I'm going to make it to the games. And, you hear people come in and they haven't trained in like 10 years. And you're like, I don't know. Let's just pick the weight up first.
Exactly.
It's like, and I don't know that everybody kind of understands that commitment and the level of athlete. I once heard that it's easier for a high school student to make it to the NFL than it is for somebody to say, I'm going to start CrossFit and make it to the games.
Wow.
Yeah, that was and I forget who told me that, but I tend to maybe think that might be true, because there's such a skill level. Yeah.
There really is. I mean, there's so many different things that we're asked to do in this sport. So, there's a lot to work on, and which, requires a lot of time in the gym and outside of the gym, and recovery, and, taking care of your body. And
so what does that look like for you?
It's a full-time thing.
What does that look like for you?
For me, like generally what my week looks like is I generally train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and then Friday, Saturdays. So Thursday can be, I kind of take that a week at a time. I have like coach always programs optional, like running in on Thursdays. But I just listen to my body. Like if I feel like I'm at 49 now, and
I hear your dog drinking. It's hysterical.
They're thirsty now.
That's great.
At 49, I've experimented some with even few weeks where I've done 4 days of training. and taken 2 consecutive days off, like on a weekend.
Yeah.
And man, I like come back that next week and feel pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So I haven't fully gone that direction. I'm still pretty much 5 days a week, but it makes you wonder, when I do that now and then, if I'm better off maybe doing more of that.
Well, yeah, I think
so.
And you're not the first person in the Masters division to tell me that, and I find that myself as an an older athlete, and one that's been beat up quite a bit, with a lot of different things, putting a lot of stress on your body that most people don't do for a long period of time. I even find for myself, and I'm somebody who always feels like if I'm not working out, if I take days off, I just feel bad because I'm like, I should be doing something. I should be, I think that's my own head. But, I think, there's a lot of logic to it though. You got to let your body quiet down. You got to let the information go down. You got to give your body time. And I think as you get older, it's harder to recover like that. Exactly.
So, but generally I train, like 2 to 3 hours. 3 hours might be a stretch. 2 to 2.5, I'd say, is my gym time. That's pretty typical. And I try to train with like 2 days a week. I go down to Kona. And train with a few of the guys there during open gym time at CrossFit Pohaku. And then, with COVID, I've been doing a lot of garage training.
Garage work. And that's everybody's doing that right now.
which has been, I've never been one that really enjoys much training on my own, but with the COVID times, I actually was able to spend quite a bit of time with my daughter and my son just last night to head back to Washington State.
Okay.
But he was here for 3 months. And so he's been following Invictus weightlifting for the past couple cycles. And so we kind of just all go out in the garage and
do your thing,
train together.
That's
he's
awesome.
Doing his thing. And then Malia and I will be doing our thing. But that's been one of the silver linings, I'd say, with COVID. For me personally, has been the time I've got to spend with my 2 kids, even though my son's, 22, he just graduated from college. And, daughter's 17. So, yeah.
So these times, they're important. And, I had a friend of mine who just said, maybe this is, kind of nature's way of telling us all to kind of just slow down for a minute and realize what's important, by shutting everything down and kind of, because years ago, families spent a lot of time together. They even lived in the same houses for like their whole lives. I mean, I remember my grandparents and their age, they all lived in one house forever. I mean, nobody ever planned on moving out. They were just like, we're just going to live here and everybody's going to support the house and we're going to take care of our older people. And, and somewhere along the line, I think we lost that. And this might be, the world's way of kind of saying, hey, pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention to your family and spend time with them because time goes by so fast. And it's the question I had, do you follow a specific program or do you program yourself? Okay.
Yeah, no. I've been with Invictus since early 2012. So it's been over 8.5 years now.
Okay.
And so I was still an individual athlete back then when CJ took me on as an athlete. And we kind of have a similar, background. We both grew up in Eugene, Oregon. And we both went to the same high school, but he was like, that next generation behind me. When I graduated, he was like going to be a freshman. So we never really were.
You didn't really know each other. Yeah.
We didn't really know each other, but and then we met at, I guess, the games in 2011. And then, anyway, I found out his mom worked with my sister at Costco back in the day.
Okay.
And anyway.
So there's a lot of connection there.
Yeah. I just, CJ is a top great guy.
And a great trainer. I mean, he comes up with some amazing things on his. Because I follow a bit of every once in a while. I change every here and there. I go to this one and that one, and because I just like to sample everything, see where everybody's at, what's going on. And Invictus is great. They're really heavy on the Ollie lifting, you know, and that's great. That's, you know, they're amazing for that because they've really, when I was following them, I followed them for probably a good, I don't know, I was part of their Masters online program for a while. And it really improved my lifting. Doing it so much because it was like every day.
The value of what they provide is, I don't know how they do it. I mean, it's great. Like from the feedback to the programming itself to, you know, the variety of stuff that they are throwing at us, you know, to make us a well-rounded, CrossFit athlete is incredible. And just, you know, the time, that the coaches that they sit down and go pour over athletes' videos and feedback that they give is just in the community that they create. We have our own little Facebook group page for Invictus Masters. I'm sure you're aware. And,
I think I'm on it still. I don't know if they ever took me off. I don't think they ever take anybody off of it. I think I'm still on it, to be honest with you.
They're that nice.
Which is awesome because I still get to communicate with people on there that I've kind of become friendly with and stuff every once in a while. But CJ back in 2012 when I started with them, he programmed individually for me, and then I did that for individual programming, which required a lot of just me and myself alone training. Yeah, well, that's what it does. I mean, that's
and so I did that for quite a while, and then I was kind of missing, like, feeling a part of a group. So I followed their competition blog for a while. I was still pretty much doing the training on my own, but I felt like I had a group to correspond back with. And commiserate with. And
throw stuff back and forth with. How'd you do on this?
Yeah, exactly.
It reminds me a little bit of like the old main site, years ago when main site was kind of small still. It wasn't that big yet. And you'd see guys like Chris Spieler on there throwing stuff up, and you're like, wow, you think you did great in a workout or something. He'd post something, you're like, oh, God, I suck.
Chris Spieler, Jason Khalipa.
Yeah, all those guys,
all those little guys. Yeah. So, so we did that for a while. And then, then they rolled out with their Invictus Masters program, and I jumped on board. I was a little, I don't know, hesitant at first, just thinking, okay, is this going to be way too scaled back? Is it, it's not going to be enough? But no, it's been great programming.
So you're actually in their Masters online program. That's what you follow at this point.
Yep.
So that's great. That's great. Yeah.
And then
for anybody who's skeptical about that stuff, you got a CrossFit Games athlete. I don't know 13 times. I don't know how many times, 10 times, 8 times, whatever. Let's just say whatever number we want. But no, so there's and still following that programming, and it's online. So, it's not bullshit. So
I'm kind of a loyal person, I guess. I know a lot of athletes, they'll jump in a program and take and learn what they can from that coach and that programming and move on. And that's great. I mean, I think there's maybe a lot to be learned by doing that, and maybe a lot to be gained, but I don't know. For me, I have a hard time doing that. Like,
well, if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
If it ain't broken.
The Martin family have been very, very special people to me. And so I've just enjoyed being a part of their family from afar.
Loyalty goes a long way. And I think that's important too, and it's when people have been loyal to you and helped you along the way, and, there's that fellowship there that you have, and that kinship, and that, and that's important, you build that rapport. Unfortunately, sometimes people don't get the results they want quick enough, and they say, oh, I'm moving on, and don't realize the process. There's a big process to all this. You're not going to come in 1 year very rarely do you see this person who comes in and just all of a sudden, they just start CrossFit, and let's say they're a natural athlete, and they've done sports their whole life, and they just make it to the games. You know, it's just a very, you know,
very rare.
You got better chance of being hit by lightning twice in your lifetime. Probably.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
That's my guess. But so what about, you know, I know diet's really important. Do you focus on a specific type of diet? Do you because I know, you know, like I said, especially, you know, myself as I get older, you know, I realize more and more how important that is, because I used to be able to like eat a donut and go do stuff and, you know, or just eat garbage and still be fine. And, you know, as you get older, that's just not, your performance sinks down to the basement, so to speak. So.
Yeah, I've done, you know, I think I've tried just about, maybe not everything, but I've tried a lot of different methods of dieting and, you know, for my nutrition, from the Whole30 to strict paleo. And the one I think I feel most comfortable with is just kind of balanced macros.
Okay.
And that's the one I've been following for the last 3 years, I'd say.
Okay.
Just
the scaling out.
Actually, if I pulled out my app right now, and I haven't logged a meal in, I don't know, probably since last summer.
Yeah. Well, you know it. That's the thing. If you know it, you got into a groove. You don't need to. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but I'm also not one that I like to do things in moderation. So like, I don't completely cut things out forever. So if I want to have a drink, I have a drink. Last night my son and his girlfriend were taking off, leaving the airport. And so we took them to dinner beforehand. We went to Kona Brewing Company and, I had their fresh catch of the day, fish sandwich. Okay. And then we went and had some shave ice and ice cream afterwards. Yeah.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, I mean, the thing is and you said a key thing, moderation. The problem is a lot of people get into this habit of doing it every day. And, you know, when you get into that, and moderation isn't like once a week. Moderation is, you know, seldom. You know, that's kind of how I look at it, you know, especially if you want to be an athlete and work and train at a certain level. You know, you can't just, you got to be vigilant on all aspects, you know, the training, the you know, because I notice if I fall off and just start eating bad, I notice my performance goes way down, you know, because I just don't feel well. You know, my body's tight. I have inflammation everywhere. You know, my body's not reacting well to what I'm putting in. And, you know, so there's something to be said for just keeping it clean. And then, like I said, you know, you want to have a bowl of ice cream on once a month or, you know, go do it, go for it, whatever. Yep. But, you know, but
big bowl of pasta now and then. And afterwards you feel like, oh, why did I eat that?
Yeah. Oh my God. It was so good, but I feel so awful now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you also need that, you know, when you get into some of these diets, like, you know, the Whole30 is the Whole30 for a reason. It's not meant to be continued forever. Right? Yeah. Like, Paleo's meant as just to kind of get you reset. Then you figure out your personal paleo code, right? There was a book written by Chris Kresser. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's called Personal Paleo Code. And it was all about that. It was about, you know, going paleo.
I haven't read it.
No, it's a good one. But it's about going completely clean and really dialing everything in and doing that for about a month to 60 days, and then start to introduce certain things back in and seeing what your body reacts. You know, that's pretty much what that was. And it's called your personal paleo code. Because everybody's different. You know, you can't just say everybody's going to function well on the same diet.
Exactly.
You know, and I think some people, it may not be the right option, you know, so you have to look and see how your body feels.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way for people to experiment and reset their system. That would be a real good way to do that.
Oh yeah. No, and that's like I said, I've done it. I've done that a few times already, figuring out. Okay, milk. All right, no good.
I think.
Well, you there?
I don't know if it's just because you get a little older or what it is, but I feel like I'm probably under eating. lately. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe do you? I mean, you're a little bit younger than me, but are you seeing any changes in your like wanting to eat or not needing to eat as much? Or
I've gotten into a certain point where, and I got to be honest, over the last probably month or so, I've fallen off the rails a little bit. It happens. I'm just literally going back, and I'm starving right now. I'm literally starving.
Okay.
Because... Yeah, I mean, I think, and every so often that happens. I kind of say, all right, and I just kind of get into kind of more of a sedentary mode. Not where I'm not working out, but I'm not concentrating on what I'm eating as much. And I really it takes a few weeks, and I really start to feel it, and that's kind of where I'm at now. So I'm like resetting.
Yeah.
I'm resetting right now. I've dialed everything way back. I'm back to macro counting, just like you're talking about. I'm looking at macros.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating clean, and I'm hungry.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
That happens only for about the first week, and then you're fine. But your body adjusts to it, right? So, getting used to like dropping the carbs out, dropping all that stuff out, and just going back into, high protein, moderate fat, basically kind of rolling that stuff out. For a while, your body's kind of like fighting the idea. And then after 4 days, a week, your body kind of just says, okay, this is just what it is now. That's what I've noticed anyway. With me, I can't say that's for everybody.
Some of the, when you're like in a games training mode, let's say, and your volume is really amping up, and it's like the amount of calories that you should be putting away.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, and it's almost like you just get exhausted. Like it's time to eat again.
Yeah.
It's just
I don't wanna.
your daily schedule is already all calculated by you got breakfast, and then you got training, and then you got to eat, and then you might have another training session, and you got to eat again. It's like body care. It's around the clock. Let alone throw over your work and regular work and family commitments are.
Oh, absolutely. And that's, that's one of the things I try to really tell people too, is that, if you're training for the games, it's a full-time job. It's not,
it is.
It's really all you do is train for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people who, I don't know too many people who make it to the games that's not their whole job. I mean, that's pretty much what they do. They may have a few things that they do outside of it, but, most people are gym owners or spend a lot of time in gyms or, or even first responders who have that kind of time to, that not that they have a lot of time, but they have a schedule that kind of allows
it. Yeah.
Allows that kind of stuff, 2-a-days and that kind of thing, because you got to do 2 a day. I mean, I know when I was training with OPEX, I don't know if you know Robin Lyons, but Robin Lyons was training me for a while and probably about a year and a half or so. And, when I was training with her, she would be, big on the 2-a-days, just an hour row in the morning and then your intense stuff in the evening, So it's like, just to get your blood moving.
I've definitely done some 2-a-day sessions. For me, I actually prefer to do one bigger chunk. Just because and especially as you get a little older, you gotta go do all this.
I feel
get moving again. So let's just get moving once and get it all done.
I told a friend of mine, if I didn't wake up in pain every day, I would think I was dead.
So, you get accustomed to it.
I'm like, geez. Because I did a lot of running for a long time. I come from an OCR background with obstacle course racing. Also the jiu-jitsu and the all the MMA stuff. And, I've had plantar fasciitis so bad where I couldn't walk. Like it took me take me 20 minutes to get my feet able to walk, when I get up in the morning. It's a little better now because I'm not running as much.
Right.
But, I'm starting to get back into this next week. I'm going to be probably starting to do 2-a-days again. So I'm going to do probably 3 2-a-days a week.
Are you training anything particular?
I'm just trying to get myself back up to where I was.
Yeah.
My strength has gone off the charts over the last. I mean, I'm putting up more weight than I ever have in my life. which
Fun.
is I'm stronger than I've ever been right now, which is really kind of amazing. But my gas tank is gone. My engine is in the basement. Because I've been concentrating on strength and ollie lifting and basically just MMA stuff, which is a very different. I mean, it's still cardio, but it's not cardio like CrossFit. It's it's like go run 400 meters, then go lift heavy, then run 400 meters, lift heavy. Nothing else does that to you. That I've ever found in a training module. That's I actually started CrossFit to train for OCR because I was noticing that I was not getting where I needed to be consistently anymore in obstacle course racing. So I found CrossFit, and I said, a friend of mine said, you should try CrossFit. It's a really great methodology, and it'll get you stronger, and your cardio will be through the roof. And so I started doing that. And I remember doing my first workout, and I can't remember what it was. It had box jumps in it, and box jumps and snatches, I think it had in it. And it was light snatches. So, and I hate light snatches more than I hate heavy snatch. I'd rather snatch heavy than I snatch light, even if it's a volume, because if I go light, I tend to move too fast and then I end up burning myself. So it was like 75-pound snatches or something like that. So I was like ripping through them. And, by the time I remember laying on the ground after that workout going, what the hell just happened? Because I thought I was in amazing shape, right? I walk into this CrossFit gym and everybody finished that workout ahead of me. Everybody. And here I am, some OCR athlete that comes in thinking I'm some top shit guy. And I got crushed. I literally just got crushed. And that's when I realized, I said, okay, if this is doing this to me, I got to do this more. Yeah, this is need this. Yeah. And then I fell in love with that. It was kind of one of those things where I said, this is just going to be for training. And then I started competing in that. So then I'm like, now I got two damn things I'm competing in, which, I just keep finding, I don't have I'm all in or not at all. So it's kind of one of those things where if I find something and people are like, you sure you want to start getting involved in that? Because I know you.
Because I know you.
Yeah.
It's going to be all in.
It's going to be.
That's how I am too. And my first workout had been baseline, baseline workout. And then I think maybe the second day, I think it was Randy.
Okay.
Second or third day was
75
Randy.
Snatches for time.
Yeah, those lightweight snatches.
Yeah.
And then
now is that is that the same weight for female as it is for male? No, I don't think so. Right?
No, 55.
55. Okay.
75.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I have 75. I know there's a couple workouts where it's the same weight. There's a couple baseline workouts that are the same. Couple classics. I can't remember what they are, but I thought it might have been Randy, but maybe not.
And I want to say also that first week of doing CrossFit, we did Helen, I think.
Okay. That's pretty awful too.
I know. And I back then I had to use a band for pull-ups.
Yeah. Well, that's what, 400 meter run, 21 swings, and then how many
swings, and then
12 pull-ups. 12 pull-ups. Yeah. And it's like 4 rounds, right? I think 4 rounds or is it?
3.
It might be 3.
4.
Might be 3.
It's been a while since I've done Helen.
Yeah, I haven't done any. I tell you what, I haven't done any of the classic workouts in so long. I gotta probably do it again because I haven't. I don't even know what the hell my Fran time is right now. I have no idea. I think the last time I did Fran, it was like 3 minutes. And I have no idea. It's probably longer now. The first time I did Fran, it was 9 minutes. So just to give you an idea.
9 minutes. That's a good. I don't really remember what my first fan time was.
I just remember because they had this guy there that was like this massively cardio machine, and he just finished it in like 4 minutes, and I was like going for another 5. So it's ridiculous.
Have you ever done double Fran?
What? Just start over? Or just,
I think we had it programmed once where
I've done heavy Fran.
I think you had like 2 minutes rest in between. Yeah,
that's got to be awful. That's just got to be freaking terrible because I don't think
you gotta temper your first effort.
I don't think I get up after Fran for probably 2 minutes.
Yeah,
it's like, especially if you're pushing it all out and you're just moving. And Grace and all those other ones. I don't know. I'd be curious to see what they look like now. I would like to do some more. I would like to get my engine back before I even go for it. But, they'd be interesting benchmark. Actually, it'd be interesting benchmarks to do now and then test them again in 6 weeks, see where I'm at. But yeah,
exactly.
So that's why they call them benchmark workouts, right? So that's good stuff. So where do you see yourself? So the games start again next year. Obviously, I mean, you're still all in. It seems like you have no sign of saying, no, I'm not, you'll probably be one of those people doing this way into the next, next 20 years, right?
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm just like, I just take a season at a time and just, see how the body feels and what I feel. You have to kind of buy in, if you're going to commit to that, you got to buy in. And if I come to the day where like, I just don't really have all that to put into it, then
when your heart falls out of it, if your heart ever says, you know what, my heart's not in it anymore, because right now you seem like you're still pretty much all in, your heart's in there. As people like to say about CrossFit, you drank the Kool-Aid and like I did years ago, and it's the same thing. I think you either two things you see when people come into CrossFit: they either come in for one workout and never, ever, ever come back, or they come in and they just become fanatical about it. And that's just what I've noticed. There's no kind of moderation to it. It's like you're either all in,
there's really not.
I've never seen it yet. So, but your career has spanned a long time. You're still. I think the last, you come in first, 16, 17, and 18?
16, 17, 18 is when...
that's when you had the injury?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I did well in qualifiers, but then the day after qualifiers, I injured my shoulder. So,
sucks.
So I didn't get to throw my hat in the ring that 18 games.
Yeah, but you got the invite, and and then obviously 19 you were back, but you didn't feel you went.
I didn't quite feel myself yet.
Yeah, so 2021 is what we're looking at, right? 2021, seeing Cheryl actually, back in the games.
2021 season I up too.
I'm sorry, you cut out for a second. What'd you say?
2021, I'll age up.
You'll go into the, that's right.
50s.
That's right. How does that feel?
Crazy. Steve, 50's not that old, right?
No. I'll tell you what, I said I'm 47 to somebody the other day, and they said, you're still a very young man. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I don't feel like, maybe I feel like it, but 47 to me, I remember when I was in my 20s thinking, 40s, 50s, I'm like, oh man, that's like, but you got to look at it this way. I'll tell you what, I definitely am not 47 at my father's 47. My father's 47 was very different than my 47.
Very different.
So I do think people as they, and then it goes the other way too. I've seen people that I've graduated high school with that have completely fallen apart. So it just depends on how you take care of yourself. I think if you really take care of yourself, I think age is just a number, and we made that shit up. That ain't something that is really. Dogs don't know how old they are. They don't give a crap. They're like, hey, outside, I'm going.
Yeah, right.
So it's just one of those things where I think you could surpass that and just keep going.
So I agree with that as well, and it's we're only given one body.
Yeah,
and
take care of it.
It's gonna take care of it, and it will pay you back. Well,
I plan on living. I plan on living long enough to be uploaded into a machine. So it's, eventually we'll have. Elon Musk is going to figure this stuff out. Exactly. Trust me, in our lifetime. So you're probably never going to die. You're probably just going to always just be like, okay, you're getting, your body's worn out, so we got to get you a new one. You'll be able to go like a car store.
I always thought for sure I'm going to live into the hundreds, but I don't know. I was like 115. That'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see.
Just imagine. Hey, you know what? If when we get through this stuff and things are going so fast, and medical research is going so fast, and you know, hey, I have no doubt they'll come up with some things that we couldn't even fathom right now. I mean, Elon Musk got that Neuralink thing. I don't know if you've heard of that, but Neuralink is where they implant something into your brain. He's trying to make superhumans, and you know, you plant something into your brain and you instantly have access to the internet through your brain. So you could,
that's crazy.
You know everything. The problem is there's a lot of bullshit on the internet, so that's what would worry me.
How do you filter all of that?
How do I filter all the garbage? Because I can't even do that on Facebook, let alone in my head. I don't know.
Oh my God,
that'd be rough. But you know, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. I know we went a little bit over, but
that's okay.
But you know, it's just been such a fun conversation. I appreciate you taking the time and coming on the show. You know, it's just been awesome. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
If you ever make it to the island of Hawaii, look us up.
I will absolutely do that. And, you know, like I said, I don't know if you know the guys from CrossFit Lahaina CrossFit.
You know, I've never been to their box.
You should go there.
I've never.
Awesome people. They're friends of mine, Janelle and Tom. Awesome people. Also,
people.
You know, also regional athletes. You know, and Tom, actually, I felt bad. He qualified for the games this year. That's
right.
So it's like, you know, what are you gonna do?
Gonna have to do it again next year.
You gotta just run through it again next year. But if you ever get there, check them out.
I will.
So
it's only 26 miles from here.
Yeah. Just across the what's the name of that channel?
Yeah, the Awanahui channel. It's kind of dangerous.
Well, you said you were going to swim over there, right? So
nope.
I think only
I'll get on a plane.
There's only a few people that made it, I think, right? There's people that have tried.
It's insane.
Yeah. Get sucked away down end up in Tahiti somewhere.
Yeah. That wind picked up. Are you getting that?
No, I don't hear it at all. I don't hear it. And I got these on, so I hear I heard your dog's licking water before.
Right.
So I hear everything through here. But, no, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Cheryl.